Good morning, beautiful souls. How you doing? It's Jeannie here, Too Much Woman. This is my second attempt to show up as an ally and to share a little bit about what I'm learning on this journey and how I can be more vocal about my support. I want to begin by saying 3 quick things. Number 1, I'm going to get a bunch of things wrong. I'm going to mess up. I'm probably going to have to recover and apologize. And I am very much on the journey. So this is in no way to declare that I have the answers. And I'm very uncomfortable. And the reason I'm choosing to do this is because I'm uncomfortable. Being comfortable is my white privilege. And so I'm doing this despite how uncomfortable it is, because that's what I need to do. Number 2, for everyone that I have heard, and this message goes out to people who have messaged me on the side or maybe commented, or to other leaders in my community around the world on every social platform who have said, I don't normally talk politics, but support George Floyd. For everybody who says that anyone with any kind of platform, whether you're a singer or an actress or whatever you do, that you should keep your politics to yourself, that's not your lane, I say to you, that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I have the privilege of this platform, and I'm going to use it for the greater good. That's always been my intention, is to use it for the greater good, and that's what I'm going to do. Number 3, this space is important to me because it's given me an opportunity to speak to something I'm passionate about, which is equality for women, which is equality for the too much woman, which is an opportunity for not just women. It's always been about everyone having the opportunity to self-express, to be accepted, to be treated fairly. And I cannot, under any circumstance, speak in that voice without speaking for all equality. And so this is very much to do with my platform, and it is absolutely aligned with my mission and my work. So if you're new to my space, or if you've been around for a while and this topic makes you uncomfortable, makes you want to tap out, makes you not want to listen, makes you worried, makes you afraid, makes you frustrated, buckle up. I hope that you stay, because I'm uncomfortable too. And this is how we fix things. And if you still feel like this isn't what you came to my space for, bye. Actually, no, I hope you'll stay. This message is for, hello everyone, this message is for the white progressives. That's who this message is for. I consider myself a white progressive. I consider myself an ally. I've always thought I love all people. I want to be helpful. I care about this issue. I have a Facebook Live tomorrow that I hope you will be watching with a dear friend, Pamela Sylvan, who I've said, please take the lead, so I will post the link. That's the conversation tomorrow. But in the meanwhile, she sent me a video, and this video was by a woman. It was a speech by a woman named Robin DeAngelou, who wrote an incredible book. I'm going to put the link below for the video. But I want to speak to, I took about 15 pages of notes from this one video to educate myself. So my first apology is yesterday's Facebook Live. My suggestion was, if you don't know how to handle this, and you don't know as a white person how to post about it, how to comment about it, what to say so you don't say anything, my suggestion was go and ask someone. My bad. That's wrong. So again, I'm learning. That's all I knew how to do. I asked someone, and I've been educated now that is actually not the best thing to do. I'm going to tell you a better thing to do. But here's 3 things I took away from this video that has helped me so much. I want to testify that I'm on the journey. I consider myself a white progressive, and I also am racist. We all are. And I'm going to tell you why, and what we can do about it, and what I've learned so far. Number one, 3 things. I could list 50 things. I've narrowed it down to 3 because I think there's only so much that we can take in chunks. And I also want to say one more thing that's very important for me to say is I have really thought about how to balance this message, which is so relevant, important, crucial right now, with the message of the Too Much Woman and other messages. Because the root of me, if you're new to me or if you've been around for a while, you know the heart of me believes that I need to prioritize pleasure in my life, that I will no longer follow the belief that life is shit and life is hard and we die. I don't want to run my life with fear and misery. And so I will continue to post dancing videos, humor, laughter, because for me, that's the gateway to connect with you and share my message. So I'm not going to stop doing that. And that doesn't take away from the seriousness of this issue or my commitment to it. For me, it's part of my strategy. It always has been to use humor, provocation, pictures, dancing, movement to connect so that we can begin this conversation. And I'm not going to stop doing that. I will continue to do that, and it doesn't take away from this topic. So I do want to say that. 3 points that I've learned. I'm still learning. And again, this is to the white progressives. So meaning those of us who claim we are not racist, that we are allies, that we aren't, we can't believe these people that are so racist. Like, it's hard to imagine. It's so uncomfortable. It's so hard to watch. This is for all of us. Number 1, racism is a system, not an event. It's not an event that we can point to and say that's racist, or not giving that person a job is racist, or a knee on someone's neck is racist. Racism is a system. It is systematic. It's how this country, I live in Canada, and the US, it's what it's been birthed on. It is a system. It's overt, and it's invisible as well in many cases. But it's not an event. It's pervasive. It's everywhere. I'm going to shed a little bit of light on that. It is organized crime. That's what it is. It's organized crime, and all of us participate, unknowingly or not. I'm going to talk about that too in a minute. Racism, and I want to read this. I took notes because I didn't want to get this wrong. Racism has been defined by an individual who consciously doesn't like people based on their race and is intentionally mean to them. Let me highlight a few words in this. It's an individual, wrong, it's a system. 2, who consciously, wrong. It doesn't matter, conscious or unconscious. You can still be unconscious or conscious and be a racist. And number 3, that is intentionally being mean. And what this suggests is that if you make a mistake and you didn't intend to be racist, or something slipped out, or you're essentially a good person, that you can't be racist, which is bullshit. Intention doesn't really matter here. What matters is the outcome of what we're saying and what we're doing, and how we are consciously or unconsciously helping to sustain this system. When we say things like, I'm not racist because fill in the blank, what we're really trying to do is justify or exempt ourselves from being that bad person. So the first step begins with humility. It begins with accepting the fact that we are part of a system. We help to sustain a system, and we benefit a system of racism. Full stop. There's nothing else to say. It begins with humility, accepting that is a fact. Number 2, I, for sure, I've done this a million times, have a need to defend our moral character as white progressives. So we say things like, but I have Black friends. I have said things like, I was raised in a predominantly Black neighborhood. I mean, all the people I grew up with that I adored and loved the most were like Black singers and Black actors. And we watched the Cosby Show every Thursday, and I dated Black people, and I have great Black friends, right? So we have this idea that proximity excludes us or extracts us from being racist. Even if we are, there's some great research and discourse, like people can be married to a Black person and still have unexpressed or unconscious racist tendencies. So it doesn't matter if you love Black people. It doesn't matter if you have Black friends. It doesn't matter if you live in a Black neighborhood. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. It is systemic. And if you are white, you have racist tendencies, full stop. There is no, whether it's intentional or not. And this isn't to shame people. It is to be very clear that if you are white, it is part of how we are raised, because we full stop. I can't get, there's no time. I'm trying to keep this succinct. So what happens is we believe in this very binary system that says you are either racist or you're not. You're either prejudiced or you're open-minded. You're either an old fogey, or you're young and progressive. You're either completely intentional with your racism, or it's unconscious and you mean well. Okay, this binary system of either I'm racist or I'm not overrides, first of all, it's bullshit, complete. That's not true. And it overrides our responsibility by justifying our actions. Okay, so this whole binary, I'm not racist, let's take that right off the table. Number 3, and this one's a hard one for me. Is this idea that we have this shared universal experience and we want to treat everyone the same. Okay, so for me as a too much woman in this place where I have this level of this platform, this level of visibility, I like to believe that I'm fighting, speaking, honoring the rights of women everywhere, without addressing that my experience as a white woman is going to be different from an experience of a Black woman, an Indigenous woman, a Latina woman, a lesbian woman, a handicapped woman, and on and on. It's to override that and to suggest that my experience is our universal experience is white privilege. It's not. So again, I'm working to remedy that. When we say things like, this is probably the worst thing, when we say things like, I don't see color. Oh my gosh, this is a whole Facebook Live in and of itself, but I will just say this. Please never say, I don't see color. It's disrespectful. It's dishonoring to not see someone's color. To say, I don't see color, the function of that is to take race off the table. It's to ignore it. It's to pretend that it doesn't exist. It's to pretend that it's not right there. It is right there. It does exist. And there's a systemic issue of racism. So to say I don't see color is not the answer. It protects us. It exempts us as whites to say, I don't see it. I don't see, oh, is she Black? I know. That's BS. Most importantly, what it does is it closes the conversation. When we say I don't see race, I don't see color. It closes the conversation and keeps us from examining our systemic racism. A lot of people have said to me recently, oh, you're in Canada, or I'm Canadian. It's different over here. We like to think that. It's not true. This is what I'm learning. So what I want to close with, because I've learned a lot. Like I said, I have about 15 pages. But I wanted to come on and begin the conversation, to plant some seeds. Again, this is for my progressive white friends who want to be allies, who have a good intention. And, we think because we have a good intention and we aren't overtly racist, that we are helping the cause. We don't know what to say. I had a friend yesterday, a client, now friend, who posted something on social media wanting to be supportive. And she hashtagged all lives matter. As a brown woman, she was trying to demonstrate that she is in support of Black Lives Matter because we are all human. And she was bombarded with messages because all lives matter is a very white supremacist overriding and disregards the Black struggle. Anyways, she was very upset about it. And so what happens is we say something, we think we're being supportive, and then we are embarrassed. And that's what most of us are afraid of, saying the wrong thing. And I get it, because like I said, I've already screwed up multiple times saying the wrong thing. But what I firmly believe is not saying anything is being apathetic, complacent, and adding to the systemic racism. So I am willing to be uncomfortable. I'm willing to be publicly corrected. I'm willing to make mistakes. I'm willing to demonstrate my ignorance. I'm willing to be embarrassed more than being uncomfortable. The discomfort is the whole point. So the last thing that I do want to say is my question yesterday, and for all times, and it's funny because I spoke with my two best friends yesterday morning who lead huge platforms as well. And we had like an emergency meeting. It's like, what can we be doing? I don't know what to do. And so I thought in my brilliance, well, I'm just going to ask. I'm going to ask the Black community, as a white woman, what do I need to do? And I thought that was the remedy. It's not. It's not their responsibility to educate us. It's not their responsibility to make sure we get it. It's not their responsibility to reference things or quote things. It's our responsibility. And so the better question, rather than what can I do? And this is a hard one. Take a deep breath with me. Because I know if you're in my community, you have an open heart, you care deeply, you want to make a difference, you have good intention, but good intention isn't going to change things. So I want to leave you with this question, and I say it with absolute love. I'm asking myself this question. Rather than ask, what can I do? Ask yourself this question. This is where we start. What has allowed you to remain ignorant about the systemic racism that you benefit from? What has allowed you to remain ignorant about the systemic racism that we are all benefiting from? I'm sitting with that one, and it's stuck right here in my throat. And I know that tomorrow I'll be speaking with my friend, Pamela Sylvan. I've asked her if we can have a conversation about this, because I clearly don't have the vocabulary or the experience to have a meaningful conversation, and it wouldn't be fair without including her in the conversation. So we're going to have a conversation. I'm nervous about it. I suspect I won't be doing much talking because I'm principle number one is humility. I don't know. So I am going to be curious. I'm going to be open. I'm going to be listening, and I'm going to continue to do my homework. I'm going to post the link below. Again, the woman who was very helpful in giving me this perspective, her name is Robin D'Angelo. I'm going to put the link below in the comments. It takes an hour. It's about an hour and 15-minute interview, speech. If you don't have an hour, I'm going to go back to my last question. If you don't have an hour, what's allowed you to remain ignorant as you benefit from the systemic racism that is everywhere? It's everywhere. So I say this again with love, and I will say one more time that I will continue to be laughing and dancing and prioritizing pleasure in my life. I will continue to post those things. I don't think one contradicts the other. I still believe the world is a good place. I'm still very hopeful for humanity, and I believe that I have an absolute responsibility in this space as a white woman to be talking about the things that matter, not just in my community, but globally. And it's hard, and it's uncomfortable, and I'm sweating. That's the whole point. That's the hope. If it was comfortable, what would be the point? The point is to be uncomfortable. I hope you'll watch the video. Loving you. Thanks for hearing me out.